Welcome to another episode of the All Pop No Culture podcast. This episode was a lot of fun. We had Pete and Andy, and Jen came back the very next week, so we must not have scared her too much. But this week we talk about, everything under the sun. We made the mistake of letting Pete talk, and he talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. So he watched a bunch of stuff. Jen watched a few things that she enjoyed a lot. Andy watched a couple of things that we gave him a bunch of shit for. And then we finally talk about The Last of Us so that we get pretty deep into that and have a good time with that. As usual, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and set up notifications. A lot of you have started sharing the episodes on Facebook and on Twitter. So if you can keep doing that, that's awesome. If you share it and somebody watches it and likes it, tell them to share it too. The more people we get watching, the happier we get. And plus, we got some new comments on the YouTube. So if you have any comments, definitely share them. Tell us what we're doing right or wrong. And hope you enjoyed the episode this week. Have you watched a couple episodes of Velma?
Okay, so I'm halfway through the third episode.
I'm so impressed.
I'm gonna finish it because I want to know who killed Velma's mom at this point. This is the other reason why I don't watch mysteries, is because it'll be the worst thing ever, and I'm just like, well, I gotta fucking know now, so I'm stuck for the next 32 episodes.
I feel like this show is not going to tell you who did it.
You're gonna be left hanging.
Yeah, it's just it would be the cliche thing to do is to not give you the answer.
It could. Here's the thing, like, the complaint that I've been reading the most on the interwebs is how woke the show is. It is, but it's not. It's when I think of that, and maybe it's just like it's not preachy. Like, it's saying the things, but it's almost,
it's not pushing an agenda.
Yeah, it's straddling. It's really straddling the line of kind of pushing an agenda and making fun of said agenda at the same time. And
I just think that they don't have the delivery to do it. Yeah.
No, that's the problem. None of, like, every time, like, I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, that was supposed to be funny. That was supposed to be funny. Like, yeah. I could tell where the jokes were. They don't land. The pacing is fucking horrible. It's a cartoon too. Like, how do you fuck up the pacing in a cartoon? But yeah, no, Velma, like, I'm gonna finish it. I don't hate it as much as a lot of people do. I see what it's trying to do. There's okay, like, for instance, that whole opening thing in the first episode where she's talking about, like, gratuitous sex and nudity and the girl showering thing, like, it didn't work because they didn't play it up enough. They were just there. And so the joke wasn't funny because they weren't, like, doing anything. Like, for that joke to have landed, you actually needed, like, two girls in the background silently making out.
Or don't try and get cartoon porn out of HBO. I know what you're doing right now.
No, you know what I'm saying?
We all know what you're doing right now.
There's enough of that on the interwebs already. I don't... browser history, so please. Anyway,
yeah, clear that shit.
Did you guys already talk about that 90s show?
Not really. I only watched the first episode. I don't know. Have you watched it at all, Jen?
So yeah.
Yeah, Jen, I've seen the whole thing.
Okay,
have you really?
What do you think?
I liked it. It was like a little bit of a slow start for me, but as it progressed, I actually really did like it. Thought it was great. What do you think?
Same. No. It got better. No, I thought it got better. It was really rough in the beginning. Kevin, I know you like.
Yeah,
like,
I haven't gone past the first episode, and I definitely struggled with it because, and I think I said it in the chat, but I was like, my biggest thing is if you're going to cast these kids, because that 70s show worked so well, and when that 70s show started, all of those kids were perfect for their parts, and they were good actors in those parts. And in this show, for me, these kids aren't very good. Like, they're not good actors, and it was really frustrating for me. And so I can go back because the second everybody else showed up, the second Eric showed up, and any scene that Him and Donna
Yeah.
were hilarious. Like it was great to see Mila Kunis be Jackie again because goddamn, because she hasn't been like that character ever, like other than
Since
that '70s
yeah.
show. Um, but damn, when she did it, was she if she wasn't hilarious, like
To hear her say Michael as an adult was kind of
yes,
funny. Yeah. It was I enjoyed it. I like it's already been greenlit for a second season. I think I enjoyed it more just for the nostalgia of all the 90s stuff is in there. The soundtrack is pretty good, like some of the songs they put in. They actually do a really good job of using modern knockoffs of 90s clothes. Like some of the shirts the dudes are wearing, I'm like, oh yeah, they would have gotten that at Structure. I know exactly where they would have gotten that shit. My brother Ben had like 5 of those fucking polos. I like, it's little stuff like that. There's also a I don't know, Red and Kitty. I enjoy that. Eh,
Yes.
eh,
I mean, they're definitely the best part of that show.
Yeah, like they definitely are. Um I think the part that's I think the thing that I think has turned some people off to it is that it kind of the way the lead actress, I'm forgetting her name, is playing
Leah,
that character, Leah.
Leah, or
Leia. Yeah, how do you forget Leia?
It's like, oh, that's right. It's like everybody else is trying. You've got this '90s show, and they're trying to do the weed thing again, and they're trying to capture the simulate in a bottle, but you've got a group of kids they've put together that are like a Disney Channel show. Like I like all those characters and all those people. I'm like, oh my god, this could be like iCarly 2.0 or some shit. Like like that's how they felt to me. Where like you said, the actors, in that '70s show, and I wasn't the hugest fan of that '70s show. I enjoyed it. It didn't, but it wasn't a like I have to watch it every week show for me. Um, they were at least like very well defined individual characters right from the jump, like and they were Hyde was Hyde already, Foreman was Foreman, Kelso was like
yeah,
these actors were perfect. You don't like they're trying to almost force that same kind of relationship and character play in this by like, oh, he's a young Kelso, well he's also just the douchebag boyfriend character, like of course he's Kelso, like I don't know,
but he's
they're
his son too, isn't he?
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
which makes it even just sillier. God.
I mean, it's definitely cheeseball. Unfortunately, we're comparing it to the first one, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to live up to that.
Oh, and you know
But
who else?
I enjoy it for a light watch.
Yes,
And like I said, for some reason, like the first episode, I was like, I don't know if this is good.
I had to force myself to get through a few.
Yeah. But then I just was like on a roll. I just kept watching them and I laugh. I mean, I do enjoy when they're around the table. I laugh my ass off when,
Yeah.
and I really liked Ozzy. He was the gay guy.
Oh,
He's great.
he's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, he was super funny.
He's
And
really.
I liked his little time with Kitty when
Oh,
on
that
that
was
episode.
that was a cute moment. Exactly. But they also, and this is also my like my thing with the way like gay teenagers are portrayed on TV when it's not My So-Called Life. There's no one that doesn't know that kid's gay
Right.
in his life. Like I feel for him that he has to come out, but he is like the prototype of today's modern gay youth of, well, I'm just going to be gay. We don't really come out. You just are what you are, which
Yeah.
awesome. I fucking love that. That's beautiful in the way it fucking should be. But in like you said, in the '90s, it wasn't like coming out was such a big thing, and
Right.
like the gay kids kind of tried to hide that they were gay, and he is just like
Well, that's like I remember I had a really good friend in high school, and we worked together. And one day, after he had graduated, I think after I had graduated, we were talking one day, and he pulls me aside. He's like, "Look, man, I gotta tell you." And he's like, "I'm gay," and I was like, "Dude, I know." I was like, "It's cool, man." Like, it just like it didn't have any bearing on our friendship, on our relationship, like so.
Exactly.
And I knew like he had a girlfriend all the time, it's always about him hooking up with his girlfriend or whatever. And being his friend, in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, that's not the person you want to hook up with. But like at the same time, I'm like, I'm not just going to be like, what are you doing? You're gay. So like it's just you just let them you know come out on their own.
Yeah.
And when and that's okay. But that's like you said, that's how the 90s were. Like we you remember Alex, that we went to school with in college. Like he's super gay. Like he was gay, but
Yeah.
he was out in high school,
Yeah.
which still wasn't very common back then. I feel like in the 90s you had like two at your school, you know what I mean? Like there were like two kids that weren't afraid to just be out, and then like everybody else was like dealing with it.
I can't think of, and Jen, you might be able to correct me on this. I can't think of anybody in our year, or even really
It was
in our
you, Pete.
4 years at school, who openly out. Like, people who came out later
Mhm.
I was not surprised.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
I know.
when Facebook
I
status
can't think
changed,
of,
I was like,
yeah, I can't really think off the top of my head either of anybody. It's
yeah,
definitely more common.
oh yeah,
I
it is, like, it is just a thing now.
liked the Tommy Chong episode too. With
Mm.
the VHS.
God, that was fucking
That
hilarious.
was
That was
so
actually
funny.
really, really funny.
That was hilarious.
Classic Leo. But
So,
my favorite, see, it's funny, my favorite character on that show, though, is actually Andrea Anders, who is Gwen's mother.
oh yes.
Oh,
And
I love
she,
that actress though. I love
yeah,
her.
no, exactly. That's Ted's wife, Michelle, like that's on Ted Lasso. Um, or Ted's ex-wife. God, still hurts to say that. But like, she, as far as I can remember, and if you guys were like super loyal that 70s show people, has anyone on that show ever actually had a Wisconsin accent?
No, no, they've never.
She
I
is
mean,
actually the
the
first
closest
person on the
was
show.
Kelso. Kelso kind of had
A
whatever
Midwesty kind of
his,
thing.
yeah.
She is the first person to actually do a Wisconsin accent on the show. If you listen to her, and it's was just very, very funny to me. She's fucking hilarious though. So yeah, that 90 show, it's
light humor.
it's like, I think it's a
An easy
folding laundry
watch.
kind of show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too serious, not too much to commit to, like one of those.
Exactly. Well, I'll continue my cavalcade of what I watched here if you want, because speaking of laugh tracks like that 90s show had.
Oh, brutal. That also drives me crazy. I hate those.
So a reboot that I have been looking forward to for the longest time finally came out. Night Court came out.
Oh, that's right. I didn't watch that yet.
You're the only person that's like actually disappointed in it right now.
Well, no, it's here's the thing. It's, if you liked the first Night Court, you will like this one.
Well, why would I not? Like, what would be the point of watching it if I didn't like the original Night Court? She's his daughter.
Exactly. And she brings Dan back, and there's a new interesting cast of characters in the court with them. It's good, but it feels like the 80s show, like the pace, like all of it. It's starting to kind of get a little more interesting, and the writing's getting a little better as it's gone on. I think there's only been 4 episodes that have aired so far, so it's starting to get there. I actually, though, and I think this was my thing. I know there's been a glut of TV shows like this, but they had a real opportunity with this one, and they could have done it. this one would have worked very well as a single cam, like that they've done. I mean, it is the new kind of way they're doing comedy now, or a lot of comedies, but I think this would have worked very well. All of The Office, you know, the documentary show idea of it, I think would have they had an opportunity with it, and it could have worked well. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Again, there is a little nostalgia with it, because it really does, it feels like the 80s show, which is, and I think what makes that so different is that there isn't, like, even if I don't stick with them, I will try, because I love sitcoms so fucking much. Any new sitcom that comes on TV, I'll watch at least the first couple episodes. I may not bring them on the show because there's no point, because you can within 2 episodes you can tell very, very easily with some of these that you're like, nope, bye. So you don't get committed, and then you get surprised with a show like The Neighborhood. That's Cedric the Entertainer and what's the name? Max, what's his bucket from New Girl? He plays Schmidt.
Yeah.
It's a funny show. It's actually a very funny show, but I kind of stopped watching it because it got very formulaic, like sitcoms do, where it was, here's the white guy living in the black neighborhood because his wife is the head of the charter school in the neighborhood, and how are the white people and the black people different? And it was like, a lot of it's very, very funny and very well done, because Cedric does an amazing fucking job with it, but it got to be the same thing week after week after week, and it was just like, you're beating these jokes to death. Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it because I like it. I like where they're going with it. I think it's hard also to watch Melissa Rauch and not hear Bernadette and not want Bernadette. And this character is so different that it's hard to watch her. John Larroquette is amazing still, just like in everything he fucking does. I'm forgetting India. I'm forgetting her last name, is the prosecutor. She's been in other stuff. You'd recognize her. She's a lot of fun. The bailiff, they went a different way with the bailiff. It's this comedian, Lucretta. She's funny. But Roz and Bull, like, if you were a fan of the original Night Court, like, Roz and Bull were the shit.
Yeah, they're not replaceable.
She's not, like, she's a lovable character and she's fun, but she doesn't like they struck pay dirt with Richard Mall. He's like a 6'9" fucking bald dude who looks like Lurch, and he's got the voice, like, this was perfect casting, and so it worked. It's fun. I'm gonna keep watching it. I would be surprised if it lasts more than a season or two.
Well, it already got renewed, so it got picked up for season 2.
So that's a risky fucking proposition, though, because you're dealing with 4 episodes, and I think they made more than the initial 13 buy. So I think we may get like a full 18.
Yeah, well, I mean, it got renewed, 22. So we're getting 2 seasons.
I'm saying for the first season.
Yeah.
Like, I think they bought a full season. I don't think they bought just like the poor man's 15.
What network is it on? CBS?
NBC, I believe, because it streams. Yeah, because it streams on Peacock.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep watching it. I like it. I just feel like I would like someone else to watch it too, just to see what they think about it as well, because it just, like, it feels old.
I do want to watch it, but at the same time, I want it to feel like that. I want it to feel like the original.
Then you're gonna like it. Then you're gonna really like it. Actually, I think you'll really like it.
The original was unfortunate because I loved Harry Anderson.
Oh.
So when he died, I was like, fuck, well, that,
yeah.
So yeah, it'll be good. I want to watch it. I'm so behind on, like, the shows that I want to watch, because sitcoms that I want, because I want to watch Ghosts too, and I still haven't checked that one out.
Yes, thank you. That's another one that like I've seen that I'm like, ooh, this looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll round out my broadcast viewing with another new show called Will Trent.
Oh, you know what? I just started that today. I'm
Yo,
only like 15 minutes into the first episode.
it's good. I'm not 100% sure how much I like it yet, but it's really good. Pretty good mysteries. The character that plays Will is great. Erica Christensen, a little bit of a different character from her. Like the last thing that we saw her serialized on, I believe, was Parenthood.
Parenthood, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and the character's very different. She was awesome on Parenthood. Um, the whole ensemble's really, really good. I like that they didn't do like a one mystery that looks like it's going to weave through everything over the season as they solve other mysteries, like a lot of these are wont to do now. um but you don't care, the monster of the week works, but at the same time, what is a good through line for this season are the the interpersonal dynamics of the characters and how they're getting along and changing. It's if um it's really cool because it's like he's this brilliant detective who grew up in a group home and foster care with another lady, the Erica Christensen character, who's a detective as well. um he is incredibly dyslexic to the point where he, even as an adult, won't read anything. He likes people to read stuff to him. He does have, and that comes up in the very first episode. They address it. It's based on a book series.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one now that I've watched that I'm like, ooh, I should go read that book series. Like the Jack Reacher books. I watched the fucking Jack Reacher series and I'm like, oh, these books, okay, they're not like, they look like they could be fun quick reads. Based on this show, I think I can burn through this book in like a day. um Will Trent, it's another procedural. If you like those kind of shows, the detective shows, you're gonna like this one. I think, especially Kevin, as you get caught up, you'll really like it. The characters in the show are really what drives the show.
That's what makes a procedural worth watching. Is it's very rarely the storylines. It's
yeah.
the characters. That's why Castle worked, because Nathan
Mhm.
Fillion's Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, because after like season 2, the whole like, I'm a writer rolling along with the police officer, I'm now a consulting detective. You're like,
Yeah,
the fuck out of here, miss me with whatever. Like, I don't.
you'll see that too, because you talked about watching The Rookie. You'll see that too, where the longer a procedural, like a network semi-comedic procedural, goes on, the more preposterous they get, because they
Oh
can't
yeah.
stick with like the realism. Like Castle barely made sense anyways.
Yeah. I know.
And so like the longer it goes, you're like, come on, dude. Like,
But you stayed there and watched it for Nathan Fillion and Stanikatic. I can never pronounce her name. And the daughter was fucking great when she was on.
Mm-hmm.
His mother, again, another actress, I'm forgetting her name, who I fucking love.
Mm-hmm.
She was great when she was on. Like, the surrounding cast of characters was great, and you didn't get sick of them. And I think that's why Will Trent may have some staying power, because you like Will Trent, but the cast of characters around him, you're already like, the performances are good enough that I'm like, okay, I could get emotionally invested in these people. But yeah, the cases do have some interesting twist to them. Like, I can actually say, like, the one, not the most recent, but I think it's episode 3 or 4, there is a twist. And I can usually, again, because I've watched enough of these fucking things in the last 30 years, you can usually tell the twist in all of these. It's rare that one really, really gets you. uh there have been a couple so far, and I think it's only 5 episodes deep. There have been a couple that I was like, oh, I did not see that one coming. Interesting. I like what they did there with that. But yeah, so watch Will Trent. It's fucking really good. It's, again, I'm pretty sure it's on Peacock, which means it's also streaming on Hulu.
All right. Well, I've got a question for you.
Fire.
Are you done?
Actually, I do have one other thing
God damn it.
of note to talk about that I had a fun moment with the oldest. Had another one I got to share one of those movies. She has seen a lot of rom-coms already, but she had still not seen 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Oh, nice.
finally got to sit down and watch that with her. I haven't watched that in years myself. Oh my God, Hugh Grant looks so young. Like so fucking young. Because that came out when we were like sophomores in high school. That shit was like 92. That movie is still really, really good. Like, it's fun. The pacing is perfect. It's still, I actually have found with time, the one problem I always had with that movie was Andie MacDowell. I was just not a fan of her in that movie for some reason. But it's such a fun movie, and if you're in that rom-com, go check it back out if you haven't watched it in years. It's just really, really good. And you get to the Gareth's funeral and Matthew, reading the W.H. Auden poem, and just when he gets punched by Duckface, it's all just so funny. Plus so many amazing uses of the word fuck in that movie. It was really kind of a good rom-com kickoff for the 90s that like kind of ushered in a new kind of generation of movies like that. So yeah, that's one worth checking out again. If you haven't watched it in a while, it definitely holds up. It still holds up really well, and the touching parts are still touching. And oh yeah, no, what I was sort of saying was I actually enjoyed Andie MacDowell this time. I will say the one thing I noticed about this movie, dude, like 90% of this movie was completely ADR'd, like totally mixed afterward. You could totally watch it, like listening to the voices and watching the people talk. You're just like, that's not on set audio. Like, there's just no fucking way. So that was a little interesting. But other than that, yeah, go back and watch it if you haven't watched it in a while. It's super fun. And with that, I'm done.
Thank you. So, Jen, you've been
I did have one
dealing
other
with
thing.
Pete so much.
Nope, sorry, I did have one other thing that actually everybody needs to. It's
there we go. So, there we go.
Now you know what it feels like.
I had to do it.
Oh, Andy, no, dude. On other podcasts, I'm so used to that. Like that was, I've known how that's feel. No, look, everybody, if you're bored and you've got 25 minutes to spare, and you just like you're folding laundry or something like that, go to YouTube, and there's a series on YouTube called "The Story of." Okay, and it's a documentary series on Vice. And it's just the story of popular songs and how they got made. And there's some really fun ones in here, and hearing the stories behind them are really, really cool. Like the story of Shaggy's, Wasn't Me is hilarious. They did like the Thong Song by Cisco, 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, Last Resort by Papa Roach, Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus, Who Let the Dogs Out, of course, Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. That one is actually really, really cool to watch because they also have the guy who first started the Rickroll ever. The very first Rickroll, the guy who first sent out the link, who uploaded the video to YouTube and did the whole thing. Because I Got High by Afro Man. And of course, Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain. It's fun. Like they picked up. I don't know if you ever watched them. Like VH1 used to do the behind the musics and stuff. They kind of almost picked up in the same vein where that and just did a single song, and it's really neat to see these in some cases kind of one hit wonders talk about this stuff. But The Story of on YouTube, it's a fun distraction. And
you have a
now
fucking family.
I am officially done.
Jen, since Pete. You've been here so patiently for like, I don't know, it feels like 6 hours, and Pete's just been droning on. And I'm sure you watched something. I know you said you watched Antlers, but did you watch anything else besides Antlers, or are you just going to jump right into that?
Yeah, I watched M3gan. We went to the theater and saw M3gan.
Yeah. I think that's on demand. I think you can actually rent it now.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many movies in the theater that we want to see. I'm almost thinking about getting the Regal
I've thought
Unlimited.
about it too.
because it's like 1.5 tickets.
Yeah.
And I looked what was going to be released this year, and I feel like it would easily pay for itself. So I'm contemplating and getting it for my daughter and I. But anyway, we saw M3gan, and I mean, it was pretty cringy, but entertaining.
What do you mean? What do you mean by cringy? Because I liked it.
I liked it. I mean, I guess a little. It was like just on the verge of, it's cheesy a little bit in parts. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I was, I went with my daughter. We had a good time. I don't trust friggin' robots at all. Like after that, Alexa, no, none of that. But I'm probably like the only person left in the world that doesn't have Alexa.
No, we don't have it. I hate using fucking Siri on my phone, like any of that shit. Dude, I'm so scared for this next election coming up with all these AI photos that are generated and the AI text, like all this shit that's coming out. It's gonna be a terrifying. Fucking.
I know. What can you even trust anymore?
Nothing. You literally can't trust anything anymore. Anything you trust, you need to do research on, and even that, you probably won't find the right thing. And not to sound like some crazy person, but I mean, with the Chat GPT and with her, like everybody's listening all of the time. It's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah,
and you don't need Alexa or Siri to be listening. Your phone is listening to you all the time anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything you talk about ends up on your Facebook ads and and all that. But
have anybody used the Chat GPT stuff yet at all?
I'm sorry, what?
Have any of you guys used the Chat GPT, the Chat AI stuff at all?
No.
I think I fiddled with it once, but I didn't, not for more than a minute or two.
Absolutely terrifying.
Look, man, I'm ready for the robot overlords. I don't give a shit. I see what we're doing around here right now, and I'm like, they're probably going to do a better job.
See, no. I am a fucking cockroach. I will survive because I am like a cockroach. And what's going to happen is our lizard overlords are going to fight the new computer overlords to take over from the AI. And I will be hidden somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere. Maybe I'll find fucking Bill's bunker. We'll find out. But yeah, dude. Oh, Andy, I'm sorry. You were blathering on about something.
No, it's okay. But my girlfriend uses it for her report card. She'll be like, ChatGPT, give me a response for a student that is doing okay but could do better, and have it sound positive. And then it'll just print out text, and then she just cuts and pastes it. Wow. And it is beautiful. It is terrifyingly perfect. It's scary.
It's awesome, man. Scary. That's awesome. I have no problem with that.
But did you see M3gan?
I still haven't seen M3gan yet.
Oh yeah, I saw M3gan.
I mean, that chick is crazy. There's no way you can be down with robots after you see M3gan.
And that's just like entry level. That's entry level AI. That's just like scratching. That's like a scratch and sniff sticker. That's not even like open up a jar of peanut butter and go, I smell that. It's like it's nothing. It's nothing.
I do find it.
Oh, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I would just say I was impressed by the girl that played M3gan and just her like movements. She really played a good robot. It's not like that was done by a robot. That was a person in there doing that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Was she better than Vicky on Small Wonder?
Yeah, there was a kid in there. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but as far as
it is. It's actually the sister of the girl that was
right
in Orphan. Was it Orphan? What's it called?
Really? Huh. Yeah. I actually thought it was CGI.
No, that was a kid in there.
It's a girl in a mask.
So I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, she deserves an award for that. 100%.
Yeah, definitely made that look so realistic.
That's what I was saying. So she's better than Vicky on Small Wonder.
That's a pretty high bar.
Okay, so what else did I watch? I started watching I'm rewatching. I don't need to get into a couple things, but I've been rewatching Santa Clarita Diet with my daughter.
I love that one.
And then
That one
I
ended
then
too
rewatch.
soon.
What?
Ended too soon.
I gotta watch that. I watched like
know.
the first episode and it was like, oh, need to watch this, and just never went back to it. Like it looked really good, and I love Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
I love Timothy Oliphant.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
Like,
sure.
Yeah,
that's-
it's
Yeah, I
such a
really
different
liked
role for
that.
him too, and he was so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I was bummed when that ended. And then I've been rewatching You because the new one. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but the
I've
new
seen the
one's
first
about
2
to come out.
seasons. I didn't see after the second season.
Yeah.
This is the
So I'm
4th
get-
season, or is this the 5th
think-
season?
I think this is gonna
Third.
be the fourth. I'm not even sure.
I am not
But-
familiar with this show.
You?
Yeah, what is this?
It's like a stalker crazy guy. And then he
On
stalks women
Netflix.
and
Yeah.
It's dude
it's
from
a new woman each episode and
Yeah, it's dude from Gossip Girl, right? His name.
yeah.
I don't know his name. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I don't know his
Jimmy McJohnson. I don't care. But he.
Pete, you'd
yeah.
like it. You should try it.
It's pretty
worth
good.
it.
It's pretty good.
I like
The
it.
first 2 seasons I dug. The third season I got halfway through and I gave up on it because I had too much.
Yeah, definitely.
to
The first
watch.
2 seasons were solid. I mean, the second season takes kind of a weird twist and runs with it and does a pretty good job. But I could see where, like, after that, I was like, at some
Yeah,
point, like, yeah.
Let me see. How many seasons are there? The new one looks weird. He lives in like London.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, something. So that's going to be interesting, but I like it. So, I was going to let my daughter watch it and then I
Oh.
realized, wait a minute, there's so much sex in it. There's no way.
Penn Badgley.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of had forgotten
Yes.
because I didn't watch it in a while.
Okay.
God, if
And
we had just
then,
said Penn Badgley first, he would have been all over it.
No, I'm just saying now I know
Yeah.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And was he on Gossip Girl or was he on
That's
Yeah.
literally what I
Pretty
just said
Little
like 2
Liars.
minutes ago.
Oh, did I miss that? No, I'm
Jesus
saying was he on Gossip Girl or was he Pretty Little Liars?
Hey, Gossip Girl.
See, I haven't. That's another one I haven't watched all of yet.
I haven't
I'm
watched any of
proud
that
to
because I
say-
have balls.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
I
I'm
love
proud to
Gossip
say
Girl,
I-
but I'm a girl, so
No,
I haven't seen either one of those things.
It's
Not even
so
on the
good.
bar.
no, Gossip
I'm not
Girl.
saying you guys will like it, but it's
No,
good.
if you liked Miss Maisel, you'll like Gossip Girl.
You are thinking of the Gilmore Girls, and that is
Oh,
very,
you're right.
very different. Yeah.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious. Yeah, no, Gossip Girl. I know what you're talking about. Don't watch that. That's yeah.
Fuck. Mm. Fuck. I don't. I'm ashamed right now.
Oh, that was
Anyways,
funny.
you watched
Um,
You.
So I watched You. My to-do list movies are I want to watch Knock at the Cabin. Have you seen that?
Okay. No, so I
I mean,
had
not
only
seen
seen.
it, but have you seen the preview?
I've heard
watched
some
the
brutal
first-
reviews right now.
It,
watched
it
the
has
first
brutal
trailer.
reviews. Oh no!
Watch the
But
first
M. Night
trailer.
They're,
But
they're
I mean,
all,
sometimes
all,
there's.
I think all
Sometimes
M.
when
Night-
there's terrible reviews, I end up liking it. So
That's
I-
fair. I think
most of
Shyamalan
M. Night-
always from
Yeah.
his second movie, like he had just screwed himself. He made 2 really cool movies with cool twists, and he's never got out from under those 2 movies.
Yeah.
that's a
Totally
bummer. I
agree.
thought it looked good.
I think it's the director. I think it's M. Night. I think that's the deal. I'm with you. I totally want to see it. I think it looks cool.
So I
Yeah.
was not on board with the first trailer, and then when you watch the second trailer and get a little bit more of the plot, it looked very interesting to me after
Yeah.
that. Like the first trailer was just kind of like, is people attacking this couple in a cabin? I don't like
It's
whatever.
like the
And then
end of days or some shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
when you
like
find
they're
out,
supposed
and,
to like save the world by whatever they're gonna make them do or something.
yeah, like they have to. So like these 4 people, like Jonathan, and the cast is cool too. Like Jonathan Groff,
yeah.
who's an amazing actor, and I don't recognize the other guy, are this couple, and they take their daughter to the cabin, and all of a sudden, Dave Bautista and Rupert Grint, Ronald Weasley is in this one. These 4 people show up, and what you don't like in the first trailer, it just looks like there's fucking people attacking a cabin. But what the second trailer gets through to you is that they have to make a choice, or the apocalypse is going to start. Like this couple, like the gay couple and their daughter, one of them has to they have to sacrifice themselves. One of them has to die. And you find, and they kind of leads you to kind of understand these 4 people are not like weird psycho people. Like there's something compelling them and driving them to do this. but they're doing it because they want to save humanity and like save their own families, and like shit's happening. Like in the trailer, you see a plane falling out of the fucking sky, like all this crazy shit is happening. So it actually looks very interesting. It sucks that it's getting negative reviews, but
No, that does suck.
like I don't know, like you were saying, Kevin, M. Night, it's been like super hit or miss with everything like that he's done. Like Old, we talked about that ad nauseum. That was like, that wound up being like really good until the twist. Like it was confusing, it was, you know, it was interesting, and then the twist happens and you like you said, Kevin, you don't believe it. Like you're like, these fucking kids just show, and like these adults grow up and like, we were kids 48 hours ago, and you're like, the fuck.
Yeah, and everybody is just like, oh, that makes sense. I'm
and
like,
like,
no, that
to-
doesn't
go to
fucking
this
make sense.
lab. Yeah, I'm like, and I get the whole like, you know, well, we'll go investigate the lab, but let's be real. In today's modern world, if two adults showed up like that, they'd be like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith drank a little too much. Why don't we get you back to your room? Okay, we'll send you up some complimentary towels, and then, you know, and like, you didn't buy it. We could do an episode just on the crap that M. Night Shyamalan has subjected us to in the hopes that he was going to have something good. Like,
I disagree. I don't think it's crap. I actually like this shit.
You liked Old?
I did like Old. Yeah, I did.
didn't watch that.
The twist made sense to me a little bit.
It
wasn't
no
like-
sense.
Ah.
Nonsense.
You're
No,
so
actually,
literal.
to be fair, no, I'm actually kind of with you. What happened in most of the movie didn't bother me, but just like in everything that Shyamalan does, if he'd stopped like 15 minutes earlier, it would have been a better movie. But he keeps going and he keeps screwing shit up, and you're like, dude,
But what about
stop.
Science was great.
No, science
What
was
was wrong with
bullshit.
science?
Who goes to a planet covered in water and is like, oh shit, water kills us?
We've
You can see it from fucking
interstellar
space.
travel. Exactly. We've mastered interstellar travel. Let's go to a planet that's covered in 65% of the shit that's lethal to us. Oh, with a little bit of reconnaissance. Oh, these fucking people have devices that spray shit that kills us over the fronts of their houses every day to make shit green. No, like that. Like any alien would be like, nah, we're good. We're cool. And like moved the fuck on. Okay, I'm sorry. The Village, suspenseful as shit. I was on board. She steps out of the fucking thing, and they're in the modern world. She gets hit by a truck. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
Now, don't
he's
Hold on a second. Wait. We go to space. We can't breathe in space.
right.
go
But
to
we don't
space.
take off our helmet. Like the aliens went down to the planet with no protection, and the planet is covered in water. It rains here.
I still liked it.
It's the stupidest.
Still liked it.
No, I get
stupidest-
like, I get what you're saying, and there were like the movie was
it was
some
good until that
suspense.
point.
Yeah, because that twist just, because I didn't buy in. The twist worked in Sixth Sense because you bought into it. Because all of a sudden you look back and you're thinking about that movie and you realize the mom has been talking, but she's never actually been talking to him. He's only the kid has ever, like, it all makes sense. In all of Shyamalan's almost every single subsequent movie, the twist hits and you're like, oh, the twist, and then you're like, but no, I can't buy in on that. Like the fucking, what is it, Mark Wahlberg, the one where he looks like constantly looks like somebody just farted next to him.
The Happening.
Oh my god, with like the fucking,
That was terrible.
the pollen or whatever the shit that was.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was terrible.
come on.
I totally liked that movie.
See, dude, you're fired.
Well, we have found M. Night Shyamalan's biggest fan.
His only
That-
fan.
Huh?
Jen, continue. I'm sorry, you cut you
No,
off there.
it's-
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Jen,
it's all good.
just so you know, this is my role in the podcast, is to be the dissenting opinion and get them all pissed off and riled up. Just so you know.
That's okay. We all
Yeah.
like, different things.
Some of
okay,
us
so-
just don't like good things.
Yeah.
Some of us love bad things.
I haven't
Fucking
seen any of the other ones that you guys are
Green
talking
Lantern,
about,
you twat.
Yeah.
Really? You're still.
It's a good movie. I'm a fan.
Okay, so the other one I want to watch, or the other one that's coming out that I was going to watch was Missing.
Ooh,
What's that one?
It's
What's that one?
it's about there's like a mom and a daughter, and then the mom goes on some sort of international trip with a boyfriend and then goes missing.
oh
And then the
yeah.
daughter tries to like find her mom, and I mean that's it in a nutshell.
How do you think
Looks
they came up with
interesting.
a name for that show?
She's
This is
missing.
This is where Kevin
Um,
shits on it. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, I have no idea. Like, I'm sure.
No, I've seen the trailer for this. It looks very interesting because it's like they have to, at least from everything you're seeing in the trailer, they're using a lot of new media like phones and like kind of message apps and things like that to show you her searching for her mom and trying to figure out what went on. Like her mom
And
goes
then
overseas.
yeah.
Is
And then
it-
the mom, I guess, is like there's this whole other life that she has that the daughter
Yeah.
didn't know about. So
So
Is
it
it
like
based in reality? Like, is it based on a true story, or is it?
it doesn't
Not sure.
say.
No.
Probably.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to
Let's
see
see.
who is it. It's Nia
He's-
Long.
As the mom.
Okay.
yeah.
And
I love her.
Storm Reed is the daughter.
She's just casted something else. What is she in?
She's just sort of
Um,
looking at
What is she in? She was like the girl from A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah,
she's been
she
on
was.
Euphoria.
Wait a minute. It says Last
Oh
of
yeah.
Us. It says she's on The Last of Us.
Oh yes. Okay, that's exactly why I knew her. She's going to be on soon. She won't be on the next episode, I don't think,
She's
but
Riley.
she plays Riley.
Oh, cool.
So we'll see her soon enough.
I like
she
her.
is important.
Yeah,
I
like
knew
her a
I
lot.
knew her name. I was like, fuck. So
Yeah, no, that
yeah, I
looks
wanna see
looks
that.
interesting.
And then, okay, what do you think about House Party?
the
Okay.
original House Party?
No, the new one coming out.
No, so you could so it's actually I think it's already out. I think you can stream.
You can stream it already?
I think so, yeah. I Andrew and I have actually talked about this offline, and it's like we could talk about this one on another episode too. I want to see it just because I'm interested to see because it is supposed to be like a total reboot
Yeah,
and not just a continuation.
right.
And I've watched all the House Party movies because I absolutely loved the first one. And it was just one of those things from my youth, and so I've watched them, and they have gotten subsequently worse, like
Yeah.
direct to video. Like
I think
they
I've only
just-
seen the first one.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Something
first one's
intrigued
good.
me about the new one.
Yeah, no, there is something. It almost seems like, unlike the subsequent ones, they are actually trying to kind of recapture the feeling of the first one. Like they're not going to tell the same story. Like the first and the second one are fun. Third one's bad. Fourth one's like a little bow wow. I don't even think Kid and Play were involved in it. I forget.
I don't even
like,
think I knew there were that many house parties.
Oh yeah, no, there's like 6 of them, and some of them were like direct to video. Yeah, it's bad.
But he's seen them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just keep hoping.
No one's hoping.
It looks interesting. Like it looks fun. I don't think it's going to be a great movie
No.
by any stretch of the imagination, but it looks
That's
fun.
why I
It
want
looks
to
like
get the unlimited Regal, because then you just
Right,
feel like
exactly.
you can watch these things and you're not like wasting your money if something sucks.
exactly. No, I've thought about doing that. When I thought about because there's a lot of movies that I want to see in the theater that I won't just because. I mean, frankly, it
Yeah,
is
because you don't
because of
pay for it.
cost.
Yeah.
Like because if like I loved going and seeing comedies in the theater.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. Like that's a fun experience to be in a theater full of people and you're all laughing and there's like a group feel to that I really dig. And horror, I would imagine is the same way to some degree, especially on like an opening weekend. When you're in a scary movie and it's not just you and like your kid in the theater, there's a whole bunch of people and everybody's gasping and you hear people scream. Like I can see how that would be fun.
Yeah.
And get just kind of that group feel. And so that Regal thing does attract me because it is very much like, oh shit, well, let's just go see a movie.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
And
you're
plus,
not.
I think it's like so hard to find like things to do with the teens,
Oh, I know.
So it's like, it's such a good, easy thing to just go do right now. So
Ish.
it's intriguing to me. Cocaine Bear's coming out. I mean,
Oh, I'm pumped for Cocaine Bear. God,
I am actually I showed Christy
Dude,
the trailer for that tonight. She was like, "Oh my god, they made that fucking movie," and I was like, "Yes," and I want to see it because it is based on a true story, and it is such a ludicrous idea. I'm sorry, there's some things that I'm like this is so just beyond the pale. It's like a bear ate a bunch of fucking cocaine and went on a bear murder spree.
yep.
I'm like, how could I not want to watch this movie? And Ray Liotta looks like he's in it, looking just tore
His
back.
last movie.
Woo. Like this, it just looks fun. It looks stupid fun. That's all. Like, that's all this movie looks like to me. I look at going to see Cocaine Bear as like what I did going to see Jackass.
Yeah.
Like, it's just because it's just fun. Like, I know exactly what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get a bunch of really bad jokes. I'm gonna get a bear fucking mauling people. There's gonna be like funny moments that are gonna be like, haha, that's funny, and that's when the bear is gonna lurch and fucking kill someone. Like, I know exactly what's gonna happen. But I want to go see it because it's such a fucking ludicrous idea. It's like, I hate to say it, I don't know, have any of you guys watched any of the Sharknado movies?
no, no one does that.
Oh my god.
I watched one, Pete. I watched one today.
Okay. They are so fucking bad. They are so ridiculously bad. There's nothing redeeming about the quality of these films or the writing or anything about them except for the fact that they are just stupid fun. It's a tornado of fucking sharks. Like, it's the most ludicrous thing you ever heard of. But again, it's like, I don't want to compare it to The Room, but it's like, once you know what The Room is, no, I'm not comparing it to it, but once you know what The Room is, watching it, and you know it's going to be a bad movie, it's a different experience than, oh, I wonder what the Sharknado is about. And yeah, if you watched it like that, after, the fucking 90 minutes, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, that's time I'm never getting back. But it's like
Evil Dead 2.
Velocipaster, same fucking example.
But see, Velocipaster tried to be bad.
Oh no, Sharknado's trying to be bad, bro.
Oh, dude, I watched the first one and I wish I could have just killed myself instead. Like, I wish that there was a tornado of fucking sharks that I could throw myself into so that I'd never have to know that I saw that movie.
Kevin's going to have an aneurysm.
Anything that puts Ian Ziering back on my TV is a good thing for me.
No, dude, doesn't that guy just look like he beats his wife? Like, Ian Ziering sucks.
Hey, you wind up loving Steve Sanders at the end of 90210. He winds up.
I never finished 90210.
For the biggest fucking dummy goofball, he winds up being the best stand-up guy out of all those fucking dipshits that all those girls obsessed over through fucking 4 years of high school and college.
Why?
Steve Sanders wound up being like the best one of all of them.
Why are you talking right now? You're ruining everything. Jen was doing so good, and then you just start talking about 90210 and Sharknado, and I want to jump off a bridge. Why are you doing this?
What else did you see in trailers or stuff that's upcoming that's interested you, Jen?
Wait a minute. Now you got me on a 90210 thought. Because what the hell did okay, who's David? Who's David in that show?
In 90210?
Brian Austin Green.
He was on that 90s show. He does a guest spot.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm like, what did I just watch him in? Okay, that night. Okay, that's fine. We figured that out. I'll move on. I don't know what else. I can't remember. There was so much that's coming out.
Look behind you.
Oh, you want me to talk about Antlers?
You didn't talk about Antlers at all.
Okay, I'll talk about Antlers. So, this is another movie that got terrible reviews, but I liked it for some reason, and I watched it because it was part of my daughter's horror class thing, the review that they had to do today. So I actually kind of sat and listened to these kids and what they thought about it, and I felt like I actually liked the movie a little more after I heard them talking about it. But anyway,
this one's Guillermo del Toro, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea actually. Is it?
Yeah, no, that's why I'm surprised that it got kind of like it took the shit that it took, because it's a Guillermo del Toro movie, so you are expecting it to be fucking off the fucking like track, and anyway, like, you're not expecting it to be a fucking whatchamacallit. No, I'm sorry, it's directed by Scott Cooper.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But no,
Wait a
Benicio.
minute.
I'm
Oh,
trying
he's
to,
the producer. He's the
that's
producer.
why. Yeah. No, I knew he was involved on some level, and so you don't expect it to be like a normal film.
Yeah. So it's like body horror is what they were calling it. I've never had heard that term. I don't know if you basically when like somebody kind of transforms, like a human body transforms into something. I guess that's called body horror. So basically it has Kerry Russell and it has Jesse Plemons, which I guess he was in Breaking Bad. I never saw that, but I remembered him from Jungle Cruise is how I knew him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good in Jungle Cruise. I like him in that.
Yes, he is.
He's he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was the weird cop neighbor in Game
Yep.
Night, if you ever saw that.
Yeah,
Oh.
100%. Yep.
He was in Battleship, if you ever saw that, which is a
No.
Nobody
super
saw that.
underrated. I saw that movie. I've seen that movie.
Don't say it was underrated. It's bad.
completely underrated.
I saw that movie. It is a fantastic movie. I watched that.
See,
Okay,
now you know.
whoa,
Now you
whoa,
know
whoa.
it's bad.
Fucking
Fantastic
pump.
is the worst word. When a bunch of 85-year-old dudes hijack a battleship so they can go fight aliens in the ocean.
That's the best
You know
part of the
you've
fucking
kinda-
movie.
That's
the best part of the movie.
No,
No.
Oh my
That
god.
movie- I'm sorry.
You're gonna die.
now-
I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die.
And
Just
Andy,
not today.
I will not agree with Andy that it is a great movie. It is not even a
He
good movie.
just quoted it. Like that
No,
hurts.
exactly. It's not even a good movie, but it is
That on
worth
a
it.
Sunday.
It is worth it
when you're
to watch
dicking
all
around
the
the
way
house.
through. To
it's
fucking, you hear the opening licks of Thunderstruck start playing, and it's these old dudes, and they fucking get the battleship going, and there is something fun and cool about it in the end. But it's a crap movie. Like it's not. But it's got the payoff with the old dudes in the battleship to me is worth it. Like it's fun to just watch that clip on YouTube. But a phenomenal movie or whatever adjective you used, Andy.
He said fantastic. I heard it.
fantastic.
No.
So much fun to watch.
Anyways.
I thoroughly enjoy that movie all the time. It's like Air Force One. Like, I mean, by your logic, Die Hard is ridiculous as well. Like, I don't know. It's just a fun movie. Who cares?
Except Die Hard's good.
Die Hard
There's-
is good.
I know that's the point I'm making.
You're comparing Battleship to Die Hard.
No, I'm just saying that the premise is equally as ridiculous.
No. One has
No,
space aliens in
no.
the middle of the ocean and old men hijack a battleship.
No, they don't hijack the battleship. They just make it work. These were guys that were already on the battleship. But yeah, he was on that too. Jesse Plemons. And you put the Noxzema girl in anything and I'll watch it. So Antlers, back to what we were doing.
So they are brother and sister.
Kevin, you should be very proud of me that I remembered where the fuck we tangented off to and I was able to pull it back to her.
Yeah, you really just got back there.
Sorry.
Yeah, so anyway, they're brother and sister. I didn't totally buy them as brother and sister, but I'm kind of, I don't know. It was kind of tough for me. For some reason I just didn't see them as brother and sister. But anyway, there
Because
is
she's hot and he's Jesse Plemons. It doesn't look like the same DNA. You're like,
yeah, I mean, when people are siblings or families, it really bothers me in movies when they don't look alike. Like,
Yeah.
or no, I just have a really hard time buying that when they don't do it. I don't understand why they don't always
Or when
do
they
it.
look nothing alike.
Yeah, like nothing alike. I
Like
mean,
there's no like there's like every now and then you'll cast a movie and you'll see at least the kids. You're like, okay, I buy that both of those kids are possibly with those parents. I'm saying, yeah, I'm looking at the picture behind you, and even if he lost fucking 50 pounds,
Right.
there's still not like
There's
there's no
nothing-
familiar resemblance at all.
I know. So I had a little trouble there, but I like both of them, so I let it slide. So basically it's pretty dark, like where the overall, like it's dark when they get in the house and all that, but not so dark that you can't see. And it's really, the cinematography was really good. It was like filmed in Central Oregon, or that's where it took place. And basically it kind of starts out and there's these two guys and a little boy, not this boy, his brother. And they go to this like mine, but it's a meth lab apparently. And when the guy goes in there, something happens to them. Basically, they get, I'm not going to totally spoil anything, but kind of give you the premise of it. They get attacked by whatever the thing is. And then you don't really know what happened. The kid goes in there too. You don't really know what happens after that. Then it kind of changes to this little boy, and he just like so tore up, so just like he has been through it. And it kind of the Carrie Russell is his teacher, and so she starts recognizing that something's off with this little boy, and so she starts investigating. And then they start flashing to like his house and his living conditions, and it's just like it's terrible. And so the thing in this movie, the Antlers, where that comes in is it's called a Wendigo. And where you find out about that is there's like this indigenous character that kind of teaches them about the legend of the Wendigo. And I don't know, is that like a thing? Is a Wendigo something you know about already in horror, or
not just in horror? It's just in
you've
mythology.
heard of a Wendigo before? Okay, I didn't know if that was just
like
this movie or
there's also a really cool comic book character called Wendigo that fought mostly Wolverine and Alpha Flight.
Yeah,
but I think I think the Wendigo is mostly Canadian.
Yeah, that's why he was big in Alpha Flight.
Yep. Anyways,
so it's basically the story of the connection of this little boy, the Wendigo, and it's pretty gruesome. I will say I think why it got such bad reviews is it's like not very horror-y. It's a little bit horror in the very beginning, then it's like setting the story for a long time, and it's kind of more the story. And it's a short movie. It's only like hour and 40 minutes or something like that. And so my daughter and I were like, there's not much has really happened. And then we pause it, we look at it, and we're like 3/4 away done. And then all of a sudden just like everything happens in the end.
Cast looks amazing. Like there's a bunch of people in this fucking movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my daughter thought some things went wrong with it, but she's a little more critical. And
like I love Rory Cochrane. Amy Madigan's in it.
Yeah, I thought the cast was good. The kids were good. It's creepy, I think at the end where actually no, I can't say that because it's going to start spoiling some things, but anyway, I think it's worth a watch. I told Andrew to watch it. He did watch it today. I thought he'd be on and we would chat about it.
I'm gonna try and watch it this week. Hopefully
I'll try to remember
we
can
talk about it. It's not long, so it's an easy
it looks
interesting.
It looks interesting.
I think we looked it up. It's on Hulu right now.
HBO Max.
Oh, I thought you said Hulu.
I think I know it might be Hulu and HBO Max.
Yeah,
I thought it was worth it.
Oh, here, I can tell you if it's on HBO Max 100% right now. Just look it up.
Justwatch.com. It'll tell you where it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I just happen to have HBO Max pulled up because, I was on my lunch break today. Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch that tonight.
I was trying to finish Velma. Oh, God. Anyway.
We watched like 3 minutes of that, and I tried to give it a watch after the last show, but
yeah, it's
just, I don't know. I usually can tell if I'm gonna like things pretty quick, and both of my daughter and I are like, nah.
I think I don't know. You might not have been on yet, Jen, when Kevin and I were kind of talking about it, or you might have, earlier. I said I'm pot committed now because I want to find out who killed Velma's mother and who killed the two students. Like I'm interested in. It sounds stupid. I'm interested in the mystery of it all. But just like the jokes don't land.
Yeah.
It's so like that whole opening scene where they're making fun of like the gratuitous nudity and the opening kind of things of this. Like it lasted too long for it to be funny without more going on. Like there's just no pacing. The beats weren't right. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's trying way too hard. And
I wouldn't bother with Velma. Like the only reason I'm going to finish
I was like,
because
there's so many things I want to watch that.
Yeah.
The other thing we started watching, but I'm only 2 or 3 episodes in, is Alice in Borderland. Have you heard of that?
I started watching the first episode of that, and I've heard really great things. And I know I think the second season is coming out right now. So
The first episode was like super, or at least in the beginning, it was really cheesy. I was like, what the hell are we watching? Like, can I watch this? Because it's Japanese and it's like dubbed.
Yeah.
So that always makes it, cheesy kind of sometimes, with the different voices and stuff. But as it got into the game, it got interesting. It's like the best way I can describe it is like a kind of like a Squid Game in a way.
Yeah.
So I need to continue with that. And then the only other thing I watched was did I say Scream 5? I had to watch Scream 5 for the other horror movie.
Yeah.
Could have probably done without that.
Yeah, I started that one and I fell asleep watching it and I never went back to it.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
It's kind of like the revenge. That's what they're doing, basically. It's like these kids come back and they're trying to have like not revenge. Maybe that's not the right word. They're trying to mimic the original story.
They're like copycats.
Yes, copycat, exactly. So I thought that was kind of silly, but
yeah, they're trying. This is my daughter. My daughter was like, they were trying to make it like way too meta with everybody they brought back and trying to like, you're like, you watch it, you're like, nee.
I know. And then
but
the new one's coming out, but
yeah, but they had fun. They had fun with it. So
that's like all I can remember that I watched.
Yeah, you have to start either using you got to either start using the notes app in your phone or put pen to paper or something, because
I have,
like I always forget what I watched.
I have been taking notes. I can't, we were talking about we're old. Can't remember anything.
Yes, this thing doesn't this does not work. So Andy, I'm gonna ask if you have you watched anything interesting this week before we jump into The Last of Us?
I watched
that's worth talking about.
Oh, says Pete.
Very little probably that's worth talking about, to be fair. I watched Shotgun Wedding, Timothy and J-Lo.
Oh,
because
yeah.
How
bad was that?
That was horrible. That was really, really bad. That was super horrible. Like ridiculously horrible.
I don't know who would have seen that coming.
I mean, I even saw it coming, to be fair. But, it's on the treadmill. It's something that's it's mindless, and I can just watch it, and I don't give a shit about it. I watched that. I watched You People. Did you guys talk about that yet?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Okay, so you and I can talk about that for a minute if you want, because I didn't get a chance to talk about that show. That movie was fucking hilarious.
I loved it. I thought it was super funny. I liked the jokes. I liked the dichotomy of the races. It was a fun movie. I thought it was pretty smartly done too. I thought Jonah Hill didn't try to be too much of. Honestly, it just felt natural. It felt like I was really watching a true relationship. I enjoyed it a lot. I loved it. I liked it.
I thought he and her were great together. Like you said, I bought that relationship. I completely bought 100%. It. Like there's a lot of times when they put, like that was one of the things in that movie. God, I'm forgetting what it was called. It was funny at the moment, but it was Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani, and they hit the guy in the car, accidentally wind up getting chased around all night. It's
Stuber?
No, it's not Stuber. I'll find it. I talked about it on the show a while ago. Yeah, I just never bought their relationship together in the first place. They had a meet cute, but it just you never really buy it. Those two I bought. I loved. There was so much fucking cringe in this entire movie. Like, oh my god, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Between this and Veep, she wins the award for woman who can make me cringe just in anything. She plays the awkward white woman so fucking well. Eddie Murphy is great. I love Eddie Murphy. It's so funny to see him like as the militant black dad. Like Eddie Murphy's at the point now where he's at that age where he's going to be playing dads and grandfathers. And that's cool. I like that take. I loved this.
He still looks younger than all of us, too, though.
I know. Well, shit, if you had that much money and all you did was live in your house. Anyway,
that is all I do.
Yeah, no. You people was great. I like. I was it like the great comedy of our generation? No, but it was fun. It was probably one of the best comedies to come out in a while, of its kind.
I will say that comedy did not hit theaters. It went straight to streaming. And
which is smart.
I don't know. It is smart. And I don't know if I'm happy about that or sad about that, because that's a date movie. that's a movie I would go take a date to when we were teenagers. And now that's the only movies that are, I mean, there's not very many date movies that go into theaters anymore, which kind of bums me out a little bit.
You're
So
not
I
going to
would-
go
I
take your
just-
date to Magic Mike or anything like that? The new
I mean,
Magic
I
Mike
would.
movie?
But I don't know if I want my
So
son,
bad.
my 17-year-old son taking his girlfriend to go see a Magic Mike. I don't think my
Like, haven't you heard of
17-year-old
Netflix
son-
and chill? Like, this is set up just for that. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's
Come over to my house and watch a
assuming-
movie.
I'm assuming you've seen Magic Mike.
Yes.
Only because you brought it up. Have either of you two seen Magic Mike?
It's been a long time, but
Yeah.
yeah, I saw Magic Mike.
Okay,
I've seen Magic Mike. Yeah,
that movie.
I've
Okay,
seen Magic Mike too.
I've seen Magic Mike 2 as well. That movie, that's the second one, not so much, but that first movie is not like how it was billed to be.
What do you
Like,
mean?
you forget it's a Steven Soderbergh movie because, like, you watch the advertisements for it and you're like, ooh, it's gonna be a just fun kind of male stripper movie. Girls go and see it; it'll be a cute time. Dude, there's like shitty storylines about drug abuse and horrible shit going on, like on the underside of that movie. That it's not like the fun, rollicking, good time like they build it to be in the advertisements. Channing Tatum,
No.
I think it's great. I love that dude can fucking dance. I like the he moves his body in such a way that's fucking ridiculous, and he's just one of those people that's like that.
Please do
Pete,
not get
or-
aroused on the show, Pete.
No,
Hey,
it's an
Kevin.
appreciation. It's like we were talking about when we had the episode that it came back with Twitch. It was the same kind of thing. If you watch Twitch and so you think you could dance, there's
Yeah.
something. There's people who dance, and they're amazing dancers. There are people who are born to dance, and you can see it when they move their body. There's something in expression, in a form, and a shape. Like there are people who are amazing dancers, but like Channing Tatum's one of those dudes that, like, even though we haven't seen him dance in a while, you go back and watch some of the stuff, or you watch Step Up and you're like, oh, or not Step Up, but oh yeah, no, it was Step Up.
Yeah.
Like that dude is a ridiculous fucking dancer, and it's not like his body's built for it. He's like, the way he moves, you can tell both he and his body were put here on the earth to do that. Yes, he's good in movies and everything else, but Channing Tatum is a dancer, and I will watch Magic Mike 3 just to see Channing Tatum dance because it's
Yeah. It looks cheesy as hell, to be
oh
honest. but
fuck yes.
I'm gonna watch it because I'm in it. I've gone it. I've actually watched the series. Have you seen that series?
I watched a couple episodes of it.
That was
I'll
cheesy
admit it,
too,
yeah.
but funny. It's kind of
Yeah.
endearing to see like the average Joes become the Magic Mike.
Yeah, it was.
And I've seen the Vegas show too, which that was cheesy as
Nice.
hell. And that
Was
was
it?
disappointing from a women's perspective because I felt like the guys, you're comparing it to the movie, and then when you go there, like the guys just aren't the same caliber. You're like expecting to see Magic Mike. There's no Magic Mike there.
Now, did you do Thunder from Down Under?
No.
So my wife, my
What is happening right now? What are we
My
talking about
mom-
right now? What is going on?
my mom really wanted to go see that, and nobody wanted to go with it. So my
It's
wife
your
was like,
fault,
"I'll
Andy."
go. I'll go with her." And if my wife hadn't go, I'd go because I've been to Chippendales before.
Yeah.
And she- oh
Regularly.
yeah, no.
Do you see
well,
the new
after-
Chippendale show?
Okay, so no, I haven't started watching that yet. That's
I do wanna
that's
watch
on
that.
my list. Yeah. No, dude, it's the story behind Chippendales.
It's supposed to be
starring
good.
Kumail Nanjiani. It looks dark as
Yeah,
fuck, bro.
It's supposed to be really good.
Like it's like it looks really, really good. You should wait. It's on Hulu. Watch the preview for it, and you'll be like, oh. But yeah, Thunder from Down Under. Those, like, it's so funny because like like a guy's strip club versus like going to a strip show that or you don't even want to call it strip so much as weird exotic dancing that women go to the show. They're just so different. It's such a different experience, and frankly, women do it better.
Kevin, if Pete's audio in the last 2 minutes doesn't leave this episode off,
I'm editing like 60% of what he's been talking about. Just cut.
I I need like
Should
3
see
or
the
4
cutting
of
room
those.
floor by the time I'm done with this one. So,
Oh.
anyways, Andy, have you
Okay, yeah,
watched
sorry.
anything besides Naked Dudes?
Continue your crap.
Let's see here. I did watch I watched the other woman, some rom coms. So the other
Oh
woman
yeah,
with
I seen that.
That's a good one.
yeah
That was good.
yeah
I
with
love Leslie Mann. She's hilarious in that. And
yeah,
watching Nicolas
Cameron
Cage
Diaz.
Wheeler like run through the
Yeah.
glass at the end. It's a good payoff at the end of that one.
Yeah, watched that. I watched a complete chick flick. I watched The Secret, Dare to Dream. It's with what's Tom Cruise's ex-wife? Not
Nicole
Nicole
Kidman?
Kidman.
one. No, the other one.
Katie
Oh.
Holmes.
Yeah.
Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes is in it with the guy from Sweet Home Alabama.
Josh Lucas.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I watched that. That was fun. I liked it. You can shit on me all over that if you want to, but it was fun. It was just something to put on the TV to have like sound on in the house with nobody here. But I liked it for reals. And then what I watched last night? I watched Friends with Benefits. That was I do like that. Timberlake and
with Mila.
yeah, Mila Kunis.
Was
that
Justin
was okay.
Timberlake?
Yeah, and Woody.
Yeah, I
Harrelson
love that
and-
movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I watched that with the girlfriend and her kids, and they'd never seen it before. That was a fun movie. And then I will say I'm still watching National Treasure on Disney Plus on Wednesdays.
Okay, so I haven't Kevin, this is the part where Kevin's gonna get sick to his stomach. So I haven't
Yeah.
watched that yet. Have you been enjoying that? Because I loved those movies.
Kevin's gonna literally throw, but he's getting a bucket. He's getting ready. He's gonna choke himself. Okay. So to be completely honest, Pete, I'm having a lot of fun watching it. If you watch those with your daughters, you would have a fun. I'm having fun watching them by myself. They're cheesy. They're ridiculous. They're not movie quality. They're not National Treasure movie quality. But it's adjacent. It's fun. It's a fun movie. They're solving a mystery, you know. But again, I cannot get the Dora the Explorer theme song out of my head because it's a Mexican girl with a backpack solving a mystery with a map. It's fucking hilarious.
Did you ever see the Dora the Explorer movie?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know that was a thing, actually. You just
Oh,
said
no,
that.
it was. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you went
Yeah.
to the theater when it was coming out, they had the full, the full size, cardboard cutouts of Dora all over the place. And you're like, what the fuck?
Was it live action? I'm totally
Yes.
sure. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yes.
Yeah. It was not that bad.
You saw it?
Oh yeah, I saw it too.
I took one of my kids to see it.
We saw
it,
with
it,
the kids.
Yeah, it just wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. It was exactly what I expected it to be, but for a movie that's aimed at kids that are of an age where their parents are still going to be taking them to the theater, it was
kept your interest?
What?
It kept your interest?
Yeah. It was still entertaining as an adult. Like there was enough of it that was entertaining that it wasn't just so I remember the first kids movie that I watched I shouldn't say in a long time, but when I was in my early 20s, I took my younger brother Frankie to see Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, the movie in the theater because he was real little. That was the first time really looking at a movie almost through a parent's eyes, because this movie was obviously not in any way, shape, or form aimed at me. But there were a few jokes here and there that were like, oh, that's obviously aimed at a parent to make them laugh. Like there's a joke about peeing in the shower that kids would find funny, but they don't understand why that's funny. That as a parent, you're watching that and you're like, oh, that's fucking funny.
Or functional.
Exactly.
You know.
But Dora was kind of the same way, but much more entertaining. There's enough there that I was entertained as well, and my kids liked it too. More than like more than just like I'm sitting there and every 10 minutes, you know, I'm like jarred awake by a funny moment. Like it was entertaining throughout. Would I have seen it had I not had kids? No, it's not. Like it is a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like
So National Treasure is just it's silly fun. It's like it's your 90s, early 2000s sitcom that's trying to be edgy. You know what I mean? It's nothing great. I'm not going to. I mean, it's. Did you watch Quantum Leap? The new
Nope.
version?
yeah.
It got boring real fast.
Yeah, that was my problem too. Like I was really into it. I think I watched the first 8 episodes and then I haven't gone back to it. I liked what they were doing with it. It just like kind of died.
That's totally fine. So my point is, I'm not trying to compare them to each other. What I'm trying to do is it's that type of sitcom. You know what I mean? Episodic, cheesy. You have to kind of close one eye sometimes and get through
So
some stuff.
it's like The Librarians.
I never saw that, but sure.
Okay,
yeah,
it's Monster of the Week, Treasure Hunter people.
Well, it's not Monster of the Week. It is the whole series is it's an arc. One to
Okay.
it's not each episode is not it's not inclusive to each other. It's part of the whole episode.
Wait, this is a series you're talking about, not the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
series on
Oh.
Disney Plus.
It's on Disney
Oh.
Plus. Actually,
Which should tell you how good it is because Disney has not pushed it fucking at all.
well, they're not pushing Willow either, which I stopped watching that bullshit. That was incredible.
I was so excited to see that, and then I finally saw the preview for it, and I was like, God damn it!
Yeah,
And
it was
I haven't
horrible.
even bothered.
Yeah, don't like. I watched 3 episodes, and if I'm saying don't watch it,
Yeah,
you
no,
shouldn't watch it.
that's well, actually, if you're saying don't watch it, it's probably fucking brilliant, and people just haven't figured it out yet. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
like cult classic TV show in 5 years.
Golden Globe winner.
Yeah,
You guys are assholes.
Yeah.
So I love you. But no, the National Treasure. If you got kids, give it a watch. If you like the series or the movies, it's fun. You know, it's nostalgic. I guess I liked it. I'm gonna finish the series. I'm definitely watching the whole thing.
okay, no, I'll watch it then. If you think it's that worth it, I enjoy that kind of genre of movie, and there aren't that many that are
fun.
made. So even when they're bad, I tend to enjoy them. You know,
So
like
kids,
They're
like
silly.
younger kids could watch this?
Oh, totally. Oh, they'd
Okay.
love it. I think they would love it.
Okay. I can find a million things to watch with my teen,
oldest.
but
Yep.
it is hard to find good things to watch with my younger one because I'm sick of watching all the like young.
How
kid
old is she
stuff.
now?
She's almost 9.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I've got a 10. See, you're doing better than I've just given up, and I just like unless it's something like completely fucking out there, I just let the 10-year-old watch whatever it is with us, and if it fucks her up or freaks her out, then I'm just like, oh well, okay,
Yeah,
go back on your eye. We'll
I'll let
watch
her
it
watch
later.
things that are a little bit, swearing. I don't care about any of that, but
Yeah,
I can't be letting her watch Antlers and shit.
no, oh no, but see,
and that's
Antlers,
a lot of the stuff we're watching.
Okay, see, I don't know if I'd watch Antlers with Soph only because I don't know if no, I'd watch that with her. Just from the sound of it, if she was interested in that, I'd watch that with her. Yeah, but like I see now, here's the interesting part about that though. You said Antlers was kind of gory.
Oh yes, very.
No, then probably not. I found between the two of them, my 10-year-old, like she is all over The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
Like I turned it on because like, okay, I got to watch this for the show. I mean, I wanted to watch it, but I was like, I got to make sure I watch it. I'm caught up. So I've actually watched that like the first 3 episodes like yesterday, like last night. She like was on her iPad and had her headphones on during part of the first episode, and then she took them off and she kind of got involved, and she's like, okay. Like the little bit of the zombie stuff in episode 2 where they were like up close and personal with them, she liked. It's funny because she's already like, we're talking about watching other zombie movies because she's like, these aren't the zombies like they were in Shaun of the Dead. Like these move fast and they like really try to attack people. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm all, next we'll if you like that, we'll watch 28 Days Later.
Yep.
Because I remember that movie again, not that gory. That movie scared the shit out of me.
No, because that movie was very intelligent. It's what makes zombie movies, or makes a good zombie series or movie, because it's about the people. It's not about the zombies. Like, they're there, but it's the people that make a zombie show or movie scary more than anything else.
Well, because I think especially now, because I think The Walking Dead like kind of flipped the script on all that. Because realistically, before that, you had it was like Evil Dead, stuff like that, where like they were zombie movies, but you're like, they're just it's your basic formula. You take goofball people, put them together in a mall, and there's a horde of zombies, and they kill them in fun ways, and they've got to, it was the same kind of thing. But zombie movies have changed, and they've gotten, like you said, just about the people, because it's all like the zombies have become apocalyptic. And I think that's what is amazing. And you and Alex were talking about it years ago, but The Last of Us, like, it's really, really good. I honestly, at first, I wasn't 100% bought in, because the first 10 minutes of the first episode are very slow. Like I was kind of like, eh.
Wait, the first 10 minutes, the first episode?
The first episode.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes.
Where they were explaining the fungal outbreak?
No, before, like, leading up to the fungal outbreak. Like, it was just very slow.
When she was, like, at the neighbor's house and stuff?
With the little girl?
Yeah, in the beginning.
With Danny
like,
Nunes. What is wrong with you?
No,
that's like the emotional part of the story. You're a fucking monster.
No, but okay, this is where it was hard, because of what you had told us. You guys haven't spoiled much for us, but I
won't spoil a damn thing.
But I knew the beginning. I knew Joel and Ellie, so I figured out right away that his daughter was going to die. Like, I knew that was like a thing. So that was already there for me. It was just, like I said, it was slow, but then once it started going, like once she did the fungal outbreak sort of thing, and the old lady was fucking doing the thing, and they went from there in, like, I was like, oh shit. And then when he explains again just last week everything that happened, this is a really good show. I'm really impressed with everything they've done. So I don't know how much you guys have already talked about it.
Well, no, see, I'm glad we accidentally transitioned to this, because I don't care that you haven't been here the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about the third episode.
Yes.
Which was...
Wait, give me 10 seconds.
I'd rather not.
Okay. 8 seconds. Just go forward thinking. I'm totally looking forward to Quantumania. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I got my tickets today.
I already got my tickets.
And The Machine, the Burt Kreischer, the Canadian Burt Kreischer movie that comes out, I think, March 3rd or something like that.
Is that even going to be in theaters, or is that going to be direct too?
No, it's in theaters. It's in theaters. And I am absolutely going to go see that in the theater.
You know what? If you're willing to leave Brentwood and it's in a theater near me, we can go see that together.
Dude,
because that's one of
our dicks together. Can we?
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I forgot we're recording. I know.
You made it weird.
Private. We talk about that.
I'll just go watch Van Wilder instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Pete, we should totally go see that.
I would go see it, because I love it.
Joint and go see that together.
That's one of the best 10 minutes of stand up that's out there. Him telling that story is fucking amazing.
It's the best. It's a date, you and me, buddy. We got it.
All right. So after we had a great segue into The Last of Us, and then you guys fucked it.
You're totally welcome.
Back to The Last of Us, episode 3. Quite an interesting episode. Very divisive on the internets, in that all of our favorite bigoted friends have review bombed it on IMDb. There's been a significant number of 1-star reviews on IMDb. And curious. For sure.
Are you fucking kidding me?
For sure. Now, what's the ones that make me laugh are the ones that are like, why did they do that to these characters, why couldn't they have just left them alone in the game? Well, to start off in the game, you meet Bill.
Yeah.
And you go on a hour to adventure in his town that he has blockaded and built up and all that. And but you never see Frank. So the way that the episode, or sorry, the way that the segment of the game ends, um, Bill helps Joel and Ellie get to a location that has a truck, and they go through all the shit to get there. When they get there, they're going into this house, and they find Frank. He's hung himself because he got bit, and so rather than turn, he hung himself and died. And so he's been talking about his partner a lot, and it sounds like he's talking about a business partner, right? And you realize in that scene that no, it's more than that. And they talk about it a little bit, and then you find this note. If you go into a room, there's a note that very explicitly says, number one, Frank hates him right now. Whatever happened, they had a huge fight, falling out. Frank left. The whole letter is like, fuck you, I hate you, blah blah blah. But it is very clear that they were lovers, like they were lovers in the night. These two were whatever. And so yeah, so there's no illusions to them not being gay. Like they are gay, to the point where after that scene, when they're driving away in the truck, it's just Joel and Ellie. Ellie pulls this magazine out of her bag that she pulled out of Bill's bunker, and it's a gay porn magazine. So there's a bunch of like, she's like, oh my God, are they really that big? And they laugh, and then she throws it out the window. Right. So like,
this is in the video game.
Yeah. And so Bill is very clearly gay. And so it's just what they did with this show is so amazing, because none of what happened in the show happens in the game at all. And they changed the outcome. Now, the one argument that like the hardcore fans make is that in the game, when Bill and Ellie meet, they butt heads all the time. And there's some fantastic dialogue in the game, like a whole bunch of like fuck you dialogue between the two of them. That's fantastic. And it doesn't show up, obviously, because Ellie never meets Bill.
Right.
But before we get to her not meeting Bill, I mean, what did you guys think of the episode? Because again, like my favorite thing in the world is that you guys are all seeing this for the first time. Like I know the story, I know what's supposed to happen, and while this one, for me especially, is such a departure that it is a wholly new episode, a whole new part of the story. But it's cool for me to see what you guys think.
So before we jump into that, are you watching the like HBO, the stuff that HBO does afterwards?
Yes, for sure. And I'm listening to the podcast on.
I was going to pick that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought this was a great episode of TV. Nick Offerman and Murray
Bartlett,
Australian guy. That was a great little relationship they had. That was a really it was a fun little thing. Like I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It was a very the whole thing was very tender. I think them being gay actually, I will say this, I actually think that it added something to the story. Because we've seen the wayward woman who stops in with the guy and she winds up being the wife and he does we've already seen that play out in different forms, in different formats. And this was really cool because it was an interesting situation, because you had two men who couldn't have been fucking different as night and day. Like you had, doomsday prepper Bill, and then Frank, who, we laughed in the group chat, who knows that you're supposed to pair Beaujolais with rabbit or whatever. there's fun little things, but he's obviously different than Bill. But he like balances Bill out, and they go through this whole thing, and you love their relationship. And the way they transition, they cut it very, very well, because you've got Bill taking a gunshot that night when people are attacking, and they cut, and you're instantly like, oh, like what's happened to Bill? And it flips the script, and it's like a 20-year time jump or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, no, Frank's dying of ALS or, Parkinson's or something. And Bill seems to be, he's just older. And they're just this old couple. And the little Romeo and Juliet suicide thing that they wind up having at the end, I thought was adorable. That sounds like morbid and gross. But Nick Offerman was so just like the character Bill. I just love the idea of, well, this world is what it is. I've had this go round with you. We're this age. We've survived this far. I don't want to live in any more of this without you. So I did the same thing. There is something kind of noble in a way in taking your life like that. I think in that situation than like just a regular suicide. I absolutely loved it. Nick Offerman, again, he's just one of those actors who just, you put him in anything and he fucking shines.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he almost didn't take the part. Megan Mullally
Yeah, Megan Mullally made him do it. Yeah.
I didn't even know they were married.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know, such a great Hollywood couple. Now, the thing that did freak me out though is watching the after show stuff and seeing Nick Offerman without a beard,
Without a
or
I was like,
mustache.
wait, what?
Which, like, literally the last time I've seen him on screen like that without any facial hair was the episode of ER he was on. Even like in like as the cop in the 90s, late 90s indie film Groove, like he had a mustache, like even going back that far. I think the dude has had a beard forever. So seeing him like with no facial hair was very strange. I loved it. I'm absolutely loving this show. Yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes. I like the difference in the zombies. It was just a sweet, beautiful, like, relationship story with a zombie apocalypse as a backdrop. I
totally agree. It was a special story for sure. I know I texted in the group chat a couple of times, like, I don't understand why we can get, an hour and a half episode of watching two guys develop a relationship just to get a car battery. But I didn't hate any second of it. I enjoyed every moment of their relationship and building those characters up just to see them perish. And then watching the after show, explaining how and why they made the change, create an opportunity to share a story that they didn't do in the game. It didn't alter, of course, the narrative from the game, but it was a narrative that, it created value to the story. It made you love everybody more. It made you, frankly, it deepened Pedro Pascal's character too, because we got to see him butt up against his mirror, right? In Offerman, right? They mirrored each other in their personality, in their outlook, in everything they were doing. So it gave Pedro more character, and more feel, and more life. No, and frankly, it was even interesting to see, Ellie get to ride in a car and listen to the radio and know what it tasted like. It gave it. Yeah,
we all have daughters here, so I'm sorry when she finds the fucking tampons in the fucking thing and she's so happy. Like I got that right away. I was like, she got that. And
I high-fived.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
like, so happy for her, just knowing.
Oh, God, yeah, I was like, oh.
I high-fived. Yeah, no, it was great. But the show, the series, the episode was fantastic. it grounded the series so far. Not that it
Yeah.
needed to be necessarily, but it did made it feel. We all know preppers. We've all watched a TikTok of preppers. We all know gay people. Like it just made it feel more like motherfucker. So
No,
go ahead.
I'm going to disagree with you on one point there. I think this was a little necessary point in this story because we just had an episode that was all about the zombies, and I think in a show that really is all about the characters, to give you this. It is. I love it when a show like this also does a callback, because I was trying to figure out what the fucking Depeche Mode song was all about at the end of the first one, and it was because it was an 80s song playing on the radio, because that's what they did. They put on that playlist when something went bad, and that's what clicked on and started playing. And it's like you don't realize it until you get through that, and I'm like, oh shit, there we go. I think because it is such a character driven story, I think after a zombie heavy episode, they had to give us something like this to go, all right, we killed a bunch of stuff in this episode. Now you're going to see how these two random gay dudes survive the apocalypse. And it was,
by the way,
oh my God.
Totally the way I do it too.
I'm sorry. It was just such a beautiful moment at the end. It's like, I want you to give me the best day ever. I want you to take me to the boutique, and then we're going to go get married. And then and it was just like, oh my God, this is so fucking cute. And then they're like, the only issue, the only thing I would take umbrage with, if you will, and I'm going to be Andy nitpicky about this here. That baggie of crushed up pills would not have dissolved in that small amount of wine. It would have turned into.
It was way too red. It was not murky.
I was like, bro, I haven't crushed up a lot of pills to kill people, but that.
Well, and I have.
Well, oh no, I'm just saying, like, one of the first times you were on, we were talking about this. Like, you have an issue with when they forget to reload in fucking things. Like they're.
Well, the biggest, the most glaring. Well, there's two glaring issues in this episode. Number one is nowhere 10 miles west of Boston looks like where it does on the show.
No.
Like there were pine trees and
a
river and mountains. Even Stephen King was like, guys.
Yeah, not that close to Boston.
Like they really should. They needed to do something different there other than say 10 miles, because anybody in the Northeast is like,
no.
And the other thing is that gasoline does not survive. Gasoline ages out. Gasoline dies. So unless Bill had access to a refinery where he was going to get this gasoline going forward, at some point that gasoline would have been bad. Now, natural gas would be okay. Natural gas doesn't go bad. But the gasoline would have. So for them to take the car at the end of that episode, he probably wouldn't have been able to do that. The battery was not the biggest issue.
Unless it was, well, no, because they show him at a pump. I was like, we could explain it away with
he
methanol.
As a matter of fact, he goes in and he gets himself Supreme gasoline.
Yeah.
So like it's right. Like he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna spend the money. Well, not spend the money. He doesn't have any money anymore, you know. But like that's like for me, if I'm nitpicking, that's the one thing that like that got me was the gasoline. But it gets you. It's in every horror movie almost, because they're like, we need it, so we're just going to ignore the fact that it goes bad.
Yeah.
I will say, I apologize real quick. It was fantastic. I love the characters, the way they're portrayed and how they were portrayed. But there's a part of me that I saw too much of Community or not Community, Parks and Rec in Offerman. Like I kind of almost wish they played reverse roles, where Offerman would have been more of the effeminate man and not the person who has, because all I saw, I literally, it was really hard for me to not see, what I forget the name of the character from
Ron
Parks
Swanson.
and Rec. It was hard for me not to see Ron, because that's exactly what Ron would have done, right? He would have had a prepper. He would have had all that shit. So in my mind, I wish those roles would have been reversed, because it would have allowed me to see Ron develop that character in a way that my brain would have had to like focus on, because I see Ron as a prepper with guns and a shelter. I mean, that made sense, right? How is that not Ron Swanson, right? So it was just, I do, perfect episode. If it could have been better made for me in my head, perhaps if they had switched those, maybe it could have been a little bit better. But I mean, it was a perfect episode for me.
I get where you're coming from with that. I didn't have a problem with that, and normally stuff like that would be an issue for me. I didn't have a problem with it because that character is so fucking night and day different from Ron Swanson.
Yeah. Well, not night and day. I disagree with that. It's not night and day different, because Ron Swanson is a 100% white-blooded.
Of course, he's a prepper, but the actual character, the personalities, like who they are completely different. There's more. I'm sorry, Ron Swanson does not know how to play fucking Linda Ronstadt on the piano.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. There's just little things like that. Like this was so. What I'm extrapolating just from things that were kind of talked about and things they said, this is I would guess, conservative gay dude that grew up in a little small town outside of Boston in a day and age where you weren't out, because he was like a 40-year-old virgin at that point, or 35, however you want to call him. He lived with his mother, because there's discussion of his mother in there. I think this was very much a quiet, keep to yourself kind of guy. Like, yes, he was a doomsday prepper, but I think more than that, Ron Swanson wasn't socially awkward. He did awkward things by the nature of like his beliefs and what he talked about, but he like would have normal conversations with people on that show. This guy was like Bill was not, at least the way they're portraying him in this, that was not the character. He was like reserved, quiet. Like I would love to hear Andrew fucking Myers-Briggs the shit out of that dude.
Yeah, that would be good. But wouldn't it be interesting to see him play the effeminate one?
Yeah, he never was going to, though. He's the one that looks like the character, so that's why.
I've never seen the game, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, here's and I'm not.
But I would also not say that Murray Bartlett was particularly effeminate.
That's what I was about to say.
No. I'm not trying to.
What are you trying to say, Andy? Like he was the bitch in the relationship? Is that what you mean?
No, that's not.
Not every relationship needs a woman.
Okay, that's a true statement, I suppose.
Hashtag wake up.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say he was effeminate, but between the two of them,
he was the bitch.
Yeah.
One had a more masculine feel, one had a more feminine feel, and that's just fact. At least the way.
Well, I would argue that he still was the effeminate one. If you look at when that relationship starts, when Murray Bartlett brings him in and kisses him, how uncomfortable and how soft and how timid he is. Even the way he walks away after that kiss, when Murray tells him to go take a shower, like he actually like hunches down, and he actually looks kind of defeated. Like this thing that he's been holding up for so long, he had to let go of. And the way that he walks away to go take his shower, and then the way that he is completely not in control of the situation when they're in bed for the first time.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely say that he is actually, he is so far out of his comfort zone that he's the weaker of the two in that case.
And Nick Offerman played that moment so well, because you watch him when they get into bed and he puts his hand on his chest. There's a physical reaction.
Yeah,
it's
watch.
Very subtle and
so
slight,
tense the whole time.
But he's there. It's one of those things you almost blink and you miss it. It's like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men when he goes to drink the glass of water after deciding that he's going to go after Jessup on the stand, and he tells him to sit down. Go back and watch that. His hand fucking shakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost imperceptible, but you watch it and you're like, oh, like, and I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan, but that was a choice. Nick Offerman, like he react, like you could tell he was like in that character. This is a guy who had never had another person touch him like that ever. And for the first time it's happening, and he physically reacts to it. Yeah. And so in that situation, yeah, I'm going to have to say he's the sloppy party bottom.
No, okay. I disagree.
Jen, what did you think?
I get what you're saying, but I disagree, because I'm not putting effeminate in the weak bucket. I'm just putting effeminate in the I want to go paint flowers and put on fancy clothes.
He only wanted to get dressed up for his wedding. The rest of the time he was wearing flannels and jeans and work boots.
You know what I mean, though.
No, but I'm saying all he wanted to do.
See, I don't. Okay, and I get what you're saying, Andy. But I didn't take that like that. Like, I took what he was talking about as he just wanted to like better the community. Like, he was saying, this is where we live. Let's clean this shit up. Let me mow the fucking lawn. Let me, let's do these things because this is where we live and we want to make it nice. Like, I kind of get what you're saying in a way. Like, it does kind of lend itself to those kind of gender stereotypes in that way. I just didn't feel that was the motivation there, and I didn't feel like that's what they were going for. I get what you're saying. I totally do. Yeah. I didn't get that.
No, and again, like I said, the episode was perfect in my opinion, 100%. The only way it could have been a little bit better for me is if I saw a little less Ron, and the only way for me to see a little less Ron is if he was the one who played the other character. That's all. But I loved the episode. I thought it was amazing. I cannot wait for the next one. I think that episode, when I watched it, when I was 25 minutes in, I thought, like, what's the purpose of this episode? And when the episode concluded, I realized, like, oh my goodness, this is an episode we absolutely required to understand more about the time, the what has happened, and frankly, it showed a lot about Joel for me. A lot about Joel.
That's actually what I wanted to talk more about, Joel, in kind of all this, because we all, I mean, the Bill and Frank, I mean, I feel like everybody's talked about the relationship. It's awesome. There's like no doubting that, but there's like just some things that kind of like when Joel comes back at the very end and like he sees the dead flowers and
he knows.
It's like he knows. And that was just heartbreaking to see. Like, he already knows something is terribly wrong. And then kind of what I wanted to talk about more was kind of what Bill in that letter taught Joel was that, because he always kept Tess kind of like at an arm's length. Yeah. And Bill, but here's two kind of rugged men, one's gay, one is not. But sorry, I'm having trouble getting my thoughts together. But basically, in the letter where he says, protect Tess, and it's like Bill embraced like the love and all that, even though he kind of fought it off at first, like Joel was. But when he said, protect her, and then we already knew what had happened in the previous episode, it's like you could kind of just feel like the gut wrenching, that Joel felt when he read that. knowing what had happened and Bill didn't know. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting dynamic between the two relationships and kind of where each ended up.
The whole thing's amazing.
Yeah. No,
It really is.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jen. I think that letter was a big moment for Joel, at least as far as, I don't know if it was the same, if it played the same way in the video game, but for us, because you had to have a real, I don't want to say kind of clear point. And obviously they, like Tess said, take him to Bill and Frank. They'll know what to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Drop him off with her. They'll figure it out. I mean, I don't want to be like dark and like, morbid or like look down on humanity, but I really think if these were real people and this was a real zombie apocalypse, when he got there and he found them dead, he just shot the girl and took all their shit and left.
Sound like Kevin.
In real life. Like I feel like that's actually how that would have played out.
Sound like Kevin.
And then, like Jen said, I think the beautiful thing was that even in this horrible time, basically the end of times, if you will, these two still found this beautiful, flower that grew out among the cracks in the concrete, and it was their love. And with him saying to Joel, you can be, I forget exactly what he says, but it's like you said, this stuff he taught Joel to like kind of push on, like, you can be happy, this is what I found here. I love that he actually wrote out he. I thought that was funny. But I think it was really good because it was also a very, very good reason now for Joel to continue on with Ellie. Because, yeah, he said that to Tess, but Tess is dead.
Yeah.
He got her to Frank and Bill's. Frank and Bill are dead. What's he going to do with a 14-year-old girl? That's a mouth to feed. That's someone he's got to protect. That's, like, the practicalities and the pragmatic side of someone living in a zombie apocalypse. That girl was dead.
But Pete, if you go back to the first episode when he lost his daughter, now he has purpose.
Yeah, he has like another chance to.
No, exactly. But that was like, right. But like Jen was saying, though, that's because of Bill's letter. I think Bill's letter was really that kind of linchpin for that. I'm telling you, if that letter was not there,
So you're saying he completely changed how he reacted to it all?
Yeah, I think that letter really kind of pushed him into it and gave us the character motivation, because it was there, of course. But remember, his thing the whole time has had nothing to do with his daughter. He's trying to find his brother. He's trying to get to Wyoming to find his brother. So this girl, like,
and he wanted to kill the girl from the jump.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I feel like if that letter wasn't there, and Bill, and the letter was from Bill, not Frank, and that's important. Because like we saw at the lunch when they made friends. Oh, that was fucking hilarious with the fucking gun at the table.
Yes.
Those two are very, very similar in their ethos. Like, Joel's like, I need a business arrangement. Let's keep this clean. Let's do this. And Frank and Tess was probably playing Frank just a little bit, but I also think I think if Frank and Bill had asked Tess and Joel to move into town with them, I think Tess would have gone. I don't know if Joel would have.
Correct.
I think,
I agree.
I think Tess really wanted some just little shit that she said, like the running out of time thing. We finally ran out of luck when she got bit. I think she wanted more. She was the one that had hope between the two of them. He was kind of lost, and the letter reminded him there are other things in this life, that it's what you make of it with this. Like, yeah, you know what? The fucking fungus zombies are all around us, but find a purpose. My purpose was fucking loving Frank. Find something to do. And yeah, he's gonna go see his brother, but now it's gonna be okay. Get this girl to California, because let's be real. Even if things are in way better shape in California than they are in Boston, the kind of facility you need to research mycology of that nature, and how to then deliver an antifungal. I mean, there's got to be something on a like DNA level with her that's keeping this fungus at bay. Like, there's something there. If that technology even exists anymore, and anybody knows how to use it, and it hasn't been destroyed at that point, they do a really good job in the show with that 20-year time jump from when it initially happens to when it is, of things that would legitimately be back up and running again versus things that wouldn't. And I don't know if, like, they're assuming that they're going to get Ellie out to California and they're going to be able to figure something out. So I really do think a pragmatic person living in a time like that, this girl, in essence, in all reality, has no value to you. Done. She's gone. It was funny though. My 10-year-old she made me laugh. I think it was the second episode. Just not to jump back real quick, but after watching the first one and her seeing like what happens with the daughter in the field and stuff when she gets shot, she kept waiting to see the mass execution of those people in that grave. And she's like, when are they going to shoot all the people? When are they going to shoot all the people? When are we going to see them shoot all the people? And I was like, I don't think we're going to see that, honey. And which is good. But that I found that kind of interesting. The way they transition in this show is very, very well done. Like, it's really, really good filmmaking, aside from the storyline. So I'm happy.
When does the next episode come out?
Tomorrow.
Like midnight? Like
9. Well, yeah, 9 Eastern.
It's 9 on TV. I don't think you can stream it until 9 Pacific.
I was looking up Murray Bartlett, Frank.
Yeah.
And because I knew I had seen him originally in something I used to watch a long time ago, and it was Looking, which was like a show about these guys. It was like a kind of gay relationship show.
Yeah.
Set in San Francisco. Huh?
But he was in White Lotus too.
And White Lotus. And he's in Chippendales. So we got to watch Chippendales.
That show looks so good. And I love Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah. But I do have a question. So, okay. Why was Bill and Frank's place not getting attacked? Was it set? Were they in the middle of nowhere? That's what I don't understand.
I think it was. And I think part of it too is that it's not really safe to be out there. So I think, the raiders are only going to go to places that they're not going to get killed going to, right? So it may very well be that what we saw was the first attempt, and now anybody that goes back is kind of knows that if you go here, you're going to have a shit time. People aren't going to give up their lives to do it.
I was like, how is everything in such a disarray everywhere? And then he's just living the life with everything he's prepped, and it's just like, like normal as possible.
And I think part of it too is that he started in that location from day one. Nobody came there and started building. They came in, took everybody out, and left. So Fedra took all the people out and killed them. So not only was he there day one, but everybody that knew about this neighborhood or was near that neighborhood was either moved to a QZ or killed. So that location was kind of left alone, and it gave him enough time to do the things that he wanted to do. So I think that's most of it. I mean, I don't know that that's going to come up anywhere. So it is definitely speculation on my part, but I think that They're just out there far enough, and like I said, most people were rounded up and wiped out. So by the time people were out actually raiding and trying to find places, they're probably not looking for a single neighborhood. And if you see it bound by electric fences and tripwires and
Yeah.
holes and flamethrowers, you're kind of like, I'll try the next one over.
I am that is the one thing also that did surprise me about Frank, but it makes sense because you need a plot device to do it. That the pit trap that he was very non-lethal. Like, it wasn't full of punji sticks or anything, where he had like the tripwire with the shotgun shell at eye level kind of thing. So it was very interesting to me that like that wasn't a lethal trap. But it was cool. Like, you watch Frank, and even in that moment when he's like in desperation, when he's like, "Oh shit, where is he gone?" and Bill comes back with a ladder and gets him out. It's just, it's very interesting. I mean, and it is a great meet cute, because what are the chances that some random gay dude is gonna have, is on his way to Boston, and he falls into your pit trap, and you happen to be the weirdest, like, closeted, possibly slightly on the spectrum dude hoarding guns. Like, it worked out well, but the two of them together in the end, like, it's cute because Nick, like, I forgot what it was, but when they were arguing, oh no, yeah, Jen, it was like about the flowers and wanting to like beautify the city, when he's talking about mowing the lawn and getting the gallon of gas for the lawnmower. Like, they argue like a real couple. Like, it was completely like an actual, and he, like, Nick Offerman, like, takes a second, counts to 10, and was like, okay, yes, we can do that. And you're just like, oh my god, gays, they're just like us. It was just a perfect little moment in a relationship of just two people and their dynamic. I'm really looking forward to next week, because I don't know if HBO is doing the thing that like Game of Thrones used to do, where in the episode preview they showed you not only stuff like from next week, but stuff that could be also out for a couple of weeks in there, because I love Melanie Linsky.
She's definitely in the next episode.
Okay, so that's, yeah, I love her, and I'm really interested to see what her character is on this show, and see what happens from here, because it looks like, again from the preview, we're gonna be introduced to like a few more people at this point. Like, we're gonna get a couple more characters that get introduced to us. So I'm excited. Ugh.
Yeah, you can tell. You can really feel that excited energy coming off you right now. Yeah.
My
So
AirPods. I'm down to one AirPod, so we gotta.
The other thing I was going to point out too is that when you're talking about how Joel, keeps Ellie and sticks with Ellie. Yes, the letter from Frank is integral to that, but it's also important to remember in the episode before that one of the last things that Tess puts what she wants onto Joel. She's the one that tells him to push on, right? So
Yeah,
he may not like her, but at the same time, this was the dying wish from really the only person he actually cared about. So he would have pushed a little bit, and then the letter from Frank is like the slap in the face. You have to do this. That he needs to keep moving on.
Also, didn't Ellie say something about not being able to protect Tess? Wasn't there a shot she took at him at one point? Or somebody
I thought the letter said that.
No, the letter said to protect Tess. She stopped reading the letter before she said the name Tess.
Okay.
But I think in the opening scene, she basically says, she says, "Don't put that on me." She's like, "Don't blame me." She's like, "I didn't make you take
choice.
me. Yeah, you chose to take me because you needed a fucking battery. Don't put this on me."
Yeah, she didn't die because of me. You two took me. That's what it was.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, and I thought that was a good, like, mature, kind of adult moment for her. And I think Bella Ramsey's killing it. She's so amazing in this part.
Dude, she is going to be like she's already a very good actor,
mhm.
and I think we joked about it way back when she shows up as Lyanna Mormont in the couple of episodes that she's on in Game of Thrones. What I'm seeing from her right here, this girl is going to be like, she's like a like phenomenal child actress. I think she's only going to wind up getting better, and she's going to be like, in years to come, one of these people that we look at as like, great actress of a generation kind of people. Like, there's something about her that she's, like you say, that maturity. She's 14. Dude, that whole part where she's seeing a car for the first time,
Yeah, she's still a kid.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I believed that she was in a car for the first time, and she did a really good job of portraying that, because that's like, those of us who have done some acting, getting into a headspace like that and forgetting about the rest of the world, like really having to dive that's a tough place to go. And she is about age appropriate. Like, she's 14, around 14 herself, isn't
She's
she?
19.
Is she 19?
Yep.
Gosh, she looks like she's fucking 14.
Yep.
Great casting. But I think she's going to be just a phenomenal actress as time goes by.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, she is fucking just killing it. Killing it.
Yeah, and I like to, the other thing to note too is that they've said it a couple times if you watch the after show stuff, but what the basis, what the root of The Last of Us first game, second game is always about is love. And now it's not always just that love conquers all or anything like that. It's the shit you do in the name of love and things like that. And in some cases, people will do some very dark things for love to protect the ones they love and things like that. So throwing this episode in there where it is where love works from beginning to end. Love is happiness. It's this happiness in this time where things are not generally okay. You get this storyline that is pretty much okay. They have, I mean, other than the run-in with the Raiders that one time,
That
they're
we know
never,
of. Yeah.
they're never really in trouble. They have a good life. What really gets them is like War of the Worlds, right? What
Yeah.
really gets them is the thing you don't see. It's ALS or MS. They kind of left that vague, which makes sense too. They shouldn't be able to self-diagnose something that significant,
exactly.
and there aren't that many doctors out there that they can go see that would know.
It's like you said, the traveling MRI salesman.
Exactly.
Comes around. He's like, well, what if there's medicine out there? He's like, oh, what? And the traveling MRI guy is going to come around and figure out what's going on. Yeah. I like the way they did that. And I liked that they didn't give it a name.
Mm-hmm.
They know something there. It's obvious there's some sort of degenerative nerve kind of thing going on, but you don't know what it is. And they don't know what it is. So they're not going to tell you. Like that, and I think just phenomenally well written.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I'm so excited for the next episode. There's some stuff coming up that I'm really excited for everybody to see, and I don't know if it's going to be this episode or the next episode, but there's some really cool stuff. There's a storyline that I'm really hoping from the game that was kind of a background storyline that you pick up in the game as you go. You find all these notes from somebody, and it's just really like you get the backstory of these people that were going through something, but you never actually see it or experience it. I'm hoping that they get into that in the game, but I'm not sure that they will. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes next. And then, like I said, my favorite thing in the world is to watch everybody else see this thing for the first time. Because for me, it's, even though this episode was different, the story still moves forward in the same way. So it's cool. Well, with that, I'll tell Andy to go watch Antlers, Pete to go to bed. Jen, thank you for showing up. You're the only person that I appreciate showing up tonight. The rest of them riffraff. But I'm glad you made it. It's cool to have you back on. So definitely Now that you're in the chat, you're going to get invited every week, and you can probably eventually turn off your phone and throw it in a river or something. But until then,
I got next couple of weeks I can't be here, but we got a lot of dance stuff coming up. That's why I'm glad I was able to hop on tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. It was good. Got a lot out of you, and really broke up Pete's marathon.
Yeah, sorry,
TV
it's
watching.
It won't be like that often.
Yes, it will.
It's
every single time.
He's
Every single time.
fucking lying.
Every single time.
I've had a lot loaded up there
Yeah.
waiting. I've got way more I could talk about too if you guys want to keep going. No.
And with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for thank you for joining us. One thing I got to say, I'm really stoked. We actually, for the first time like ever, we had somebody else comment on our episode. So Jesus is watching and commented. So that's rad. I think Jesus started watching because my friend Katie reposted the episode on Facebook. I think Jen, you might have reposted on Facebook. I'm not sure.
I think Andrew tagged me.
Yeah, that's right. Andrew
mutual
tagged you
friends kind of saw it. That was interesting.
Yeah. So for everybody that has taken to sharing on Facebook, I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. I think it's really helped us get some more viewers this last episode from last week. Either Jen is the coolest fucking person on the planet and everybody showed up to watch her, or sharing has really helped because a significant number of people have increased the watch numbers there. So keep that up. If you watch it, you like it, share it with your friends on the Facebooks, on the Twitters. Instagram is a pain in the ass to do that on, so don't do that.
I know. And the audio is going to be more regular going forward here. I've got a little process down. Fuck you. What was I about to say? Oh, so Jesus was not someone who you know?
I do not know the Christ, no. But Jesus, I also do not know.
Well, I said Jesus since you said Jesus just to cover it because we really don't know. So
I'm pretty sure he's not the Christ. That guy, it'd be kind of a big deal if he was back. So with that, again, thank you for watching. Have an awesome week. We'll see you next week. We'll talk about more crap and then also The Last of Us, which is not crap. And we love you, so have a great week.